The rally yesterday was very important because it brings faculty and staff to Springfield to talk to the legislators, to explain the importance of our pensions. Our pensions are our future. When we were hired, a contract was formed on both sides, and part of the working conditions was the promise of a pension at the end of our careers. People work 20 years, 30 years, 40 years for these pensions, commit their contributions month after month, year after year, decade after decade. We have never missed a pension payment. And those payments make up 50% of our pension. The state, in turn, made a commitment to also contribute to our pensions. We contribute between 8 and 10% now, and they contribute, I believe it's 8.5%. And that makes up our pensions for our retirement. We do not receive, the bulk of us do not receive Social Security. We work under the governmental pension, and as such, there is no contribution for Social Security by the state or by us. We are kept out of that system. So we depend completely and fully on our pensions as our way of funding our retirement. In past years, the state has reneged on their portion of that contribution and declared what they call pension holidays, which sounds like such fun, but what it was they simply did not make the pension contribution. They balanced the budget of the state of Illinois on our backs. And for every year they did that, it upped the amount owed to the pension system. And so now we are getting into epic proportions as far as what is owed to all of the pension systems of the state of Illinois. It wasn't anything that we did as employees. We continue to make our contribution always, but the state did not make their contribution for many years. And in fact, even up to and including 2 years ago, when they knew what trouble they were in, they knew how bad it was, but they continued to just kick the can down the road and make it somebody else's problem. It was an unpopular decision to fund them because of the amount that was required, but they could have, if they had funded the pension as they were required to do, we wouldn't be in this situation today. There would be no pension problem. We, the employees of the state of Illinois, did not create this problem, and we can't solve it alone. However, we're willing to work with the state to come up with other alternatives to solve the problem. We have even indicated that we would give an additional percentage or two to this problem, but with certain guarantees, one of them being that the state would agree to a written document that they would not take a pension holiday again. They are unwilling to do that. They want to simply gut our pensions, raise the percentage, and essentially leave us without any workable pension for our retirement. The cost shift that the legislators are also considering would shift the cost of the retirement payments from the state to the local body, which for the universities would be disastrous. In the case of schools and things, they have the ability to raise property taxes, things like this. But that cost shift would result in the largest property tax hike in most communities in history, because it's a significant cost, which of course has been made more significant by their lack of payment, which has created a balloon effect. So now you have this massive problem, and so they want to shift it away from government, away from the state, because they can lose that liability. However, in the case of the universities, it's going to come out of their budget. And so, again, this is a significant amount of money. And we are currently, we have received so many decrements of our budgets. So our budgets have been impacted for the past 10 years. And so we're essentially back to 1993 funding levels. And to absorb a payment like this, even though they've said that they will ease it in over years, but you're still talking a minimum of at least 2 or 3% to start, and that would be significant for hiring, for retention. It will impact every corner of the university, the resources for students, you know, the ability to provide grants and things to students that come out of university budgets, just day-to-day operations, the maintenance of buildings. It will impact on every portion of the university. So it's going to be a huge problem. We need to be in close contact with our legislators. We need to let them know how we feel about these things, why our pensions and why other things are important to us. With the pension, it also affects current employees in retention. What we're seeing now is that people are being hired, they're working for a few years, frankly getting some experience, and then they're moving on to areas where they still have the ability to get a reasonable pension. Our pensions are not excessive. You know, every once in a while you read in the paper about the person who's getting, you know, $100,000, and the average pension under SURS, the State University Retirement System, is $36,000. Everyone thinks of that star high-paid professor, but for every one of them, there's several secretaries and accountants and, you know, the janitorial staff, the folks who do the day-to-day operations. And they are not earning $100,000 pensions. They're earning a reasonable pension after years of service to the university. And again, you need to remember that they're there because they do all the support work. They're the ones that frankly are the front line with the students, you know, providing the services in the registrar's office and in admissions and financial aid, helping them fill out their forms for their MAP grants, things like that. And they're never going to get rich on what they're earning. But after years of dedicated service, they deserve the pension that they earned. It was not given to them. They earned it. They worked for it, and they deserve to not have that contract broken. And it is a contract. When we start, we understand what the terms of our working conditions are. And there are certain agreements made, and one of them is that we have a pension. It is constitutionally guaranteed by the 1970 Constitution, and the legislators have simply broken faith with it. And that is not our fault, and frankly, it's not our problem. The state created this problem. We're more than willing to work with them, but we have to work together for a solution. You can't balance the entire budget of the state of Illinois on our backs. And the shared sacrifice, we are willing to sacrifice, we are willing to work, but I am still looking for the shared part of it because I don't see any assistance coming from the state. We have many friends in the legislator ranks, and we do thank them, and we want them to know that we appreciate them. However, there are many who are working against us and simply want to gut our pensions to solve the pension problems. We don't think that's fair, and we don't think that's appropriate. So we will continue to work with our friends. One other thing that I would suggest is get to know your legislators. Go to their home offices. Frankly, you get a lot more done in their home offices. When they're here in Springfield, they're busy, they have committees, they have other meetings, and it's a very, stressful time. In their home offices, they have a little more time to talk to people and to work with people. And so I would strongly recommend that you make a friend of your legislator, if you can. And many times you can. We have people from both sides of the aisle who understand the problem and are willing to work with us. And we need to continue to grow those ranks. And so it would be a really good idea to make a friend of your legislator. I'd like to thank all the people who have just worked diligently, both this past 2 days and also in the past. I truly believe we made a difference. I believe we would have been run over if it had not been for all of our members, the calling, the emailing, the visiting their legislators, they're coming to rallies. I mean, we have had some just tremendous actions, and we have had an impact. The important thing to remember is I can talk to legislators from here to eternity, but when they see the membership, the numbers, the impact of what they're about to do, it does make a difference. And so I'd encourage everybody to continue. I know it's been a long, hard slog. Gosh knows, I know it's been a long, hard slog. But we need to continue. We have made a difference. We need to continue and help protect our universities. I mean, this is our future. The universities are the economic engines. We provide the workforce. And we need a well-informed, well-educated workforce. And for that, we need the resources, and we need the faculty and staff. And so we all have to work together to achieve that.